What'd you say?
Hey, do you mind getting me a plate?
And I'm looking at him like, your arms aren't broken, your legs are fine.
Alrighty, so.
Hey everyone,
right,
welcome to the English Exchange.
Welcome. So the other day we went to a graduation party.
Yeah, a little graduation party.
One of our friends' son graduated from 8th grade, right? So they had like an outdoor party, tents outside and tables,
lighting,
music. It was nice.
It was very,
right by the lake. Very, very nice party.
Very nice, yeah.
So,
so anyway, we were there, we're having a good time, and then it's time to eat, right?
Yeah.
So the food is there, the food is awesome. And then it's okay, everyone get up and eat. And so, I'm getting up. I'm not rushing or anything, I'm just getting up. And as I'm getting up, my husband decides to tell me.
Tell or ask?
Well, stated for me to get him a plate.
I didn't say it like that.
What'd you say?
Hey, do you mind getting me a plate?
And I'm looking at him like, your arms aren't broken, your legs are fine. Like, so yeah, why did you feel like you didn't want to get up and get yourself a plate?
Okay, and normally
I don't have a problem making you a plate. Remember the other day? He was working hard, he was working late into the night. I went ahead and just made him a plate, asked him if he wanted some dinner, and I made it. So generally I don't have a problem with making you a plate.
Right.
But
I don't like lines, right? So at that instance, everyone just got up to get food, and she was with her friends, and they were talking and going to the line. I'm like, listen, I don't feel like waiting in the line. If it's me, I'll just wait till the end.
It wasn't like 100 people there, babe. Come on.
So I said, just ask her to get me a plate. Since she's going up there anyway, just bring a plate back, please.
First, it wasn't even a long line. Like, it wasn't like crazy.
I'm not saying it was a long line, but it was 15, 20 people. I just wait,
Okay, so why didn't you just want to wait?
Because you were going there anyway. And like, she's going there anyway. So you might as well hook a brother up.
I think you just want to cut the line in a way, right? Because supposedly, women and children generally are first, and men generally wait, right? While everyone else gets their food.
There were some men that were early in that line. I ain't gonna call no names, but there were some dudes that went up early in that line.
So you didn't want to have to stand in line and wait, right?
Yeah, I didn't want to have to stand in line for 10 minutes and wait. So.
Yeah, 10 minutes. That's all it would have been.
All right.
So anyway, so what was the point of that story?
Well, the title of this episode, as you've seen, is Fix Me a Plate Woman. I don't think we'll put woman on the end of it. Fix me a plate, right? And we're talking about traditional versus modern roles in a marriage.
Right. And we're a modern couple.
I think so.
So what is this thing with this fix me a plate thing? Like, that's such a traditional, almost patriarchal.
Let's not get patriarchal. We're talking about culture. Let me tell you. So, she's Haitian, I'm Jamaican. And when we started dating, and I've been around Haitian culture a lot, but when we started dating, I went by her house, and her mom, I don't remember what it was. She fixed me some food to eat.
Right.
And it wasn't like she just fixed me a plate. She fixed me a spread. So it was like one platter with the fish, another platter with the rice, some with the sauce, some with the sauce.
Yeah, the gravy.
The vegetables. It was like my own buffet, and it was all for me. And I'm like, is somebody else gonna be eating here, all this food? And my girlfriend at the time was like, no, this is all for you. I'm like, oh, I can get used to this, So every time we would go by your house, as we were dating, you would just always get me a plate, right? I guess because it's your mom's house.
Yeah, you're not comfortable. You're not trying to go. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But then whenever I'm at your parents' house, I'm not expecting you to make me a plate. Have you ever made me a plate when I was at your family's house? At your family's house?
When? Plates. When you've asked.
Okay. When have I asked? I don't ask.
Plenty of time.
The only time I've asked you to make me a plate or get me food when I'm sick. And then you'll get me something or make me something. But generally, I'm not asking you to make me a plate. Even though we're supposed to be a modern family, right? 50-50? But anyway, leave it alone. Leave that alone.
So, talk about Modern Family.
Yes.
There was a research study that the Pew Research, y'all familiar with them? They do a lot of research studies, and they did one, and growing and increasingly, men and women are making the same in a income, right? Earning the same in a household.
Right.
And as this earning gap closes, so does the gap between traditional roles in a marriage.
Yeah.
So now you find more men that will wash dishes,
do household chores.
As more women are increasingly becoming more engaged in the workforce.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we're a modern family in that regard, and that's where everything is going. But how did our parents? How did your parents navigate? In these parental or spousal roles in a marriage?
Well, both my parents worked outside the home. But then the kicker, and again, this is coming from my point of view as a girl in the household. My mom, not only did she work outside the house, but she also worked inside as well. So she was responsible for the shopping and the cooking and taking care of us and our hair, and all that came with raising kids. And no shade against my father or stepfather, but I don't remember him being in the house. Granted, he had a business, he was running, so he probably spent a lot of time outside, with his business, and, maybe didn't have a lot of time to spend at home. But just looking at my mom working and then taking care, it was a lot.
Your mom worked a lot. So
she did.
I don't know if he worked necessarily more than she did.
Yeah, I don't think, I don't want, they both worked, right?
Yeah.
But then she had the added thing of the household and the kids. It was just, it was a lot.
Yeah.
So I definitely did not want that for myself.
So at some point you began to absorb a lot of those responsibilities?
Yeah, so I was like a second mom. So, making lunches and breakfast Monday through Friday. I had two sisters. I was doing their hair every week or every other week on Sunday, getting their hair done for the week. Going to the laundry, washing clothes, and they helped as they got older. They helped as well. But yeah, kind of a lot of it fell on me being the oldest, and then and the rest of the kids as they got older, they helped as well. But yeah, just a lot of I was mother number 2 almost, basically.
So let me ask you a question. A little bit introspective here.
Okay.
Did you, as a result of you carrying a lot of, shouldering a lot of the burden of these household chores, did you come into our marriage? What?
All right, go ahead. I already know.
With a bit of an aversion and a disdain for certain activities.
Probably. Yeah, probably. Even particularly the bathroom. I hate. So our house, it was a small house, right? Just a decent house, but it was a lot of us, right?
Yeah.
Four kids, and at one point we had my 2 cousins living with us, and we've had family living with us in and out, right? Throughout the years. And cleaning the bathroom was terrible.
That's daily.
Huh? It was just terrible.
It
wasn't daily. At one point we just had one bathroom, and all of us were sharing bathroom, and then later on they built another add-on and added a second one. But
80 all in one bathroom.
So of course I do some cleaning, daily, but then the deep cleaning every week, it was, my responsibility, and early on, and it was just a lot. It was a lot, and we had to mop the floor, and I was wringing the mop with my bare hands.
Everybody did. Everybody did that. Everybody rang the mop.
Just thinking about it now. Oh my gosh. Anyway, yeah.
Just wash it off with soap. It's all good.
We had towel all over the house, and you talk about kids bringing in dust and all in. Oh, that mop was. Anyway, it was just a lot. Yeah. So yeah, I have a disdain, an aversion for cleaning the bathroom. So now you understand why.
I understand.
Barely you clean the bathroom. I really don't do it as much as you do. Yeah.
After 20 years, you'd kind of.
I get over it. No, I'm not over it.
It's all good. I don't mind cleaning the bathroom.
Yeah. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
So yeah. Absolutely. So anyway.
So my house, it was.
Yeah. How was it with you?
Probably a little bit different. Probably more. It probably took more of a modern approach.
What do you mean?
intentionally. My father is like a good cook.
Yeah.
And he's cooked all his life and baked. And
how come you don't cook more often?
So we're talking about my dad.
Okay.
So he tells a story of crying to cook, right? When he was a kid. Everybody
Oh,
was
really? I never heard that story.
Cook in the kitchen and this and that. So he's been the main cook in my household growing up. And to a large extent, he has 8 brothers and a sister, and all of them cook and are, know their way around the house. So I don't know if he cleaned as much. He would, clean, sweep, and mop up after himself and those types of things. But my mom probably did a little bit more of the cleaning growing up, and my father certainly took care of the outside, mowing the lawn. Something's wrong with the roof, go up there and fix it. He definitely did engage in more of the traditional roles of a man, except for what we, historically people say cooking, because that was his profession as well. So I grew up, I think, in a kind of a more balanced situation.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And so I guess, when you thought about, marrying someone, and did you ever think about how your household would look, or did you think about what what roles, what would you do, what you would not do, and you just never really thought about it?
Honestly, I don't think I really thought about it too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. As we were preparing for this, I remember, I was telling you, like, man, we should have read a book or something.
We should have read a book
before we got married. It would have really alleviated a lot of, kind of little strife, would you say?
You think we had strife about cleaning or household chores?
No, I just think it was just about the expectations, Yeah.
So where are we today? And then we have those 3 points we want to share with you. But where are we kind of today? I think we're in a pretty balanced.
Oh, yeah. I think so.
I cooked dinner tonight, right?
Yes. You made some baked ziti.
No, I ain't gonna lie. So I made it. And I don't really think, all right, she was working. I actually came home a little earlier than usual and took care of my stuff. I didn't have much going on. And I said, all right, she was working and doing her charts. I said, let me just go downstairs, made some just whatever, baked pasta with turkey, and it's no big deal. But honestly, I probably, I have, I'm going to do this, not thinking it's your job per se, but I don't normally cook. Right? Because you work from home and you generally are a little bit more flexible during the day, and she sees patients in the evenings and stuff. So a lot of times when she's seeing patients in the evenings, dinner's already made. And if there is no dinner, I think I'm pretty easy. I'm fine getting a bowl of cereal or a sandwich if I want. You know what I'm saying? I don't really care too much. So I think we have a good balance right now.
I think so too. Yeah. So did you mind cooking this evening?
No, I enjoy cooking. From time to time.
I was going to say, you can do it more if you enjoy it so much.
I don't enjoy that much, but it was fun. Did you have some?
Yeah.
It tasted good?
Yeah.
Was the meat shredded enough for you?
Anyway.
All right.
But yeah, no, I mean, it was good. I mean, not as good as if I had made it. But, I'm not going to complain.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, bite the hand that feeds me?
Gotcha. All right, let's get to the 3 points, right? So the first point is communication, right? So if we've been married 20 plus years, it's really good the earlier you do it, right? So if you're contemplating marriage right now, if you're going through good premarital counseling, this is probably going to come up in that. But communicating expectations, having the conversation that we just had about how you grew up.
Yeah.
How I grew up.
Yeah, just something like that would have really kind of, set the stage for, better communication and kind of basically when the other person does or doesn't do something, you maybe have a better understanding of where that's coming from. Anyway.
Because unspoken expectations or unspoken assumptions are, the root of conflict.
Very detrimental.
The root of conflict.
Yeah.
So,
question, why is it every time I say, babe, let's talk, you just want to run for the hills, right? Communication is key, as you said, right? It's very, very important. But when I want to communicate and I say, babe, we need to have a conversation. I can see it in your eyes. You just want to run away. What's up with that?
Because that's not normally followed by something good.
Usually it's not that bad.
Pretty bad.
No.
I've done something wrong that needs to be corrected. So it's like Pavlov's dog. I've been conditioned that after we need to talk, it's going to be bad. And nothing good comes after that.
Really? No. Come on. It is not that bad.
It's pretty bad to me, but all right.
I don't think so, but okay. Agree, disagree.
So I think you need to get specific, right? When we talk about communication on these gender roles, who's going to handle the finances?
Right.
Do you mind cooking? Do you mind cleaning? Do you mind doing the dishes and laundry?
Yeah, like we do our own laundry. Like that's one of our things. We've always done that. I don't know if other people find that weird, like, but we've always done our own laundry. I don't wash his clothes and he doesn't wash mine. Unless,
sometimes like we wash whites because it's not
we don't have a lot of whites, so we'll just
put them together.
Yeah, but generally you've always washed your own clothes.
And why is that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's your fault. I think early on I tried to wash your clothes, but I didn't fold his clothes. Absolute like store, like when you go into the clothing store, how they have it all nice and neat and folded like correctly. This guy right here would just lose his mind.
I'd lose my mind. Come on.
And so I was like, all right, fine.
I wouldn't lose my mind.
You do your own laundry, you fold your own clothes, and that was it. You say less. Say less.
I would just refold them correctly. That's all I would do.
Listen, you did that a couple of times. I was like, all right, that's it. I'm done. I'm like, I'm washing and folding your clothes. Instead of showing me appreciation, you show me
disdain.
Right. Ungratefulness. I'm like, have at it. And it's been like that ever since.
Yeah, I don't mind washing and folding my own clothes, but I am particular.
Very
particular. You look in my drawers, it's folded, three piles, whatever the socks are.
It is.
That's how my drawers are.
My drawer, I just throw it in there.
And I can't understand that.
Yeah, but I'm getting better. I mean, slowly, I am. I just folded up my socks the other day. They're all neat little balls in the.
Look at God. Look at God. He can move mountains.
Anyway, he only took 20-some years. Anyway, yeah.
So it's number 2. Number 2 is
be open-minded about what it takes to make your family work.
Yeah,
it's kind of like
because
same thing.
Each family is different, right?
So and don't compare yourself to others.
There's this big movement on. Trad wives, you familiar with that movement?
Trad?
Trad, trad wives.
No. What is that?
Traditional wives.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay, go ahead.
So these women that, they're on Instagram and social media and all these types of things and showing, they're packing jam and
I've seen that. I didn't know how to name. But I've been seeing that.
Wives. Yeah. They had one lady that got busted because I guess she had like a full-time job, and this was just really like an Instagram thing.
So it wasn't even real?
It wasn't real traditional wife.
Yeah.
But listen, I think some people get caught up in social media and they think that that's going to be the ideal for them. But what's ideal for you may not be ideal for someone else.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have to be open about what your circumstances are and what your needs are as a family, right?
Yeah. I mean, are you open to me being a stay-at-home wife, a stay-at-home mom?
What I'm open to and what my bank account is open to are two different things. Personally, I'm open to it.
Right.
But Chase may say something else.
Right. Okay. Because I'm definitely open to it.
I know you're
Whenever you're ready.
I know you're open to it. Hey, for the record, I'm open to it too. All right.
Right. As long as I can't get a housekeeper, or I can't have some help every now and then.
If you're home all day, what do you need a housekeeper for?
I mean, come on. A stay-at-home mom does a lot.
Listen,
it's multiple jobs in one.
With little kids, your kids are out of the house, basically. What?
I mean, they still require a lot. I mean, this generation is different, right? They're inside a lot, and they require a lot.
That's a whole. We got to do another episode on that. This generation is different,
it's very, very different, and they're constantly like needing stuff and asking, and it's like constant talking. They're kind of my brain power a little bit. Anyway.
So be open-minded, right?
Yes.
And the really, focusing on the why. Why do we need to do this? Because this way works for us. If one spouse is working 12 hours a day, just a doctor and doing rounds at night and so forth, and the other one is cutting lawns. Maybe they have some, free time to pick up the kids and can schedule themselves a little bit better, right? You got to figure out what works for you, right?
And also maybe if the other spouse, is in school, because at different periods in our marriage, I was in school, and boy, I'm sure you had to shoulder a lot of like the home stuff and the kids stuff, because I was gone. You know, if I'm not working, I'm like out the house, I'm studying.
And I think that brings us to point number 3.
Okay.
Which is you have to be, renegotiate, actively negotiate, and stay kind of a combination of both. Stay in constant communication.
Right.
And don't be afraid to pivot.
Need to talk.
Okay. That literally was scary. She said, I'm like, oh, hold on, we're in the middle of a video right now. Like,
whatever.
If I had a EKG, wow. You would have seen my heart just go boom on that one. Yeah, that was
you got like good. PTSD. Oh, my goodness.
All
right. I'm sorry, I interrupted. Go ahead.
What works today may not work tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So things change. So you've been in school. There have been times where you were just locked in. She's just been locked in. She's writing her paper, her thesis, getting her research together.
Yeah.
And it's like 2 weeks. I don't even know if she's living at the house. Right. Like she's just locked up in front of a computer.
Yeah, gone. I know that when I was going for my master's, we had a difficult time. We didn't really, we talked about it, but not really, because we didn't really know what to expect. What did that mean? What was that going to look like? Mm-hmm. And so we definitely had a hard time, with it. But, when we learned from it, so then when I went and, got my doctorate, we had a bigger conversation. And so and it went a little bit more, it was more smooth. It was, smoother than when I was getting my master's. So.
I've seen men really, some men when their wife is doing something like what you were doing, they feel abandoned. They feel this type of way, and then they go out and cheat. Do all these kind of crazy things. Did you feel abandoned? No.
Did you feel any type of way?
I didn't feel any type of way. No.
I was gone. Okay, when I tell you I was gone, I was gone. No. Poor Morgan, when I was getting my master's, every time I would leave to go study, she would cry.
Oh yeah, she wanted to go with you.
She wanted to go with me. Oh gosh, yeah, that was terrible. That was hard. I'm like, couldn't take her, but man, it broke my heart. But
I do remember when you were pregnant.
Yeah.
I think it was with our daughter as well. Mm-hmm. Like she had a bad pregnancy, hyperemesis.
Yeah, I was like at home with the IV, the nurse coming to the house and everything.
Lost weight during the pregnancy.
Yeah, and I was already like skinny.
Back in the day. Mm-hmm. And so I had to pick up our son, drop him off in the morning, go work, pick him up like late. So he was there from the time they opened up.
Oh, my poor baby.
Yeah.
I feel so guilty about that.
At night or whatever it was, 6 o'clock sometimes.
Yeah. I really don't even remember that time.
I don't remember that. That's what I was going to say. Yeah. So, I just do what I had to do and come home and cook, take care, whatever. Yeah. But it's like amnesia. You just do what you have to do during that stage.
Yeah.
And make it work. So we hear our dog barking. I think our son just came back from working out.
Yeah. So you just gotta renegotiate, reevaluate, and just keep talking. Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah.
So
that's it. Do you have anything else?
That's everything. No, I think that's everything.
We had some notes here. We're just looking at the notes here. Yeah. But listen, I hope that these 3 points help you communicate.
Yeah.
Be open to what works for you, and also continue to keep the open lines of communication, because circumstances may change. And you have to be willing to
kind of pivot and adjust. Yeah. Because we definitely had to do that. Yeah. If I'm the one always cooking and then now I can't because of whatever situation, you got to be able to pick up the slack, like you did today.
I did today, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't even expecting you to do that. I'm upstairs working. I'm like, wait a minute, I smell something. I'm like, okay, yes, he cooked.
He cooked.
So that's good.
And our son's about to go eat half of it by himself.
Yeah.
It's not good.
No.
All right. Hope you enjoyed this episode.
All right.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.